In 1929, a Turkish officer found a map showing Antarctica without ice. The problem? Antarctica wasn't discovered until 1820, and we didn't map what's under the ice until 1949, with ground-penetrating radar. This map is from 1513, 500 years too early. The coastline matches perfectly what lies beneath 2 miles of ice today. You stayed because you know something isn't right here. We've been told human civilization started 6,000 years ago in Mesopotamia. Before that, just hunter-gatherers with stone tools. But this map says otherwise. In the next 8 minutes, you'll see evidence that someone mapped the entire world. Before the Ice Age ended, before Egypt built the pyramids, before we were supposed to know Earth was round. And you'll understand why every history textbook might be fiction. The Piri Reis map sits in Topkapi Palace in Istanbul. Admiral Piri Reis drew it in 1513. We know this because he signed it. He wrote notes in the margins explaining his sources. He claimed he used 20 older maps as references. Some of those maps dated back to the time of Alexander the Great. Others were even older. He specifically mentioned maps from the 4th century BC. But here's what makes your spine tingle. His source maps showed geographical features we couldn't verify until satellites. The map shows South America's coastline with precision we couldn't achieve until the 1960s. It shows rivers in the right places, mountains where they actually exist, islands we didn't discover for 3 more centuries. But the Antarctica section breaks every rule we know. The coastline is accurate, not the ice shelf we see today. The actual landmass underneath. The bays match. The mountains match. We confirmed this in 1949 when we finally mapped beneath the ice. Using technology that didn't exist when Piri Reis lived. Technology that didn't exist when his source maps were made. So who mapped Antarctica before the ice? Before humans were supposed to have ships? Before we were supposed to have mathematics or navigation? But here's what they don't tell you in school. Antarctica wasn't always frozen. Between 13,000 and 6,000 years ago, parts of it were ice-free. We know this from core samples, from sediment dating, from pollen deposits that show plant life. This matches exactly when Piri Reis's source maps must have been created, to show those coastlines without ice. Someone was there. Someone had the technology to map it. Someone had ships that could navigate open ocean. And then they vanished. Their civilization erased. Only their maps survived. Copied and recopied through thousands of years. Until a Turkish admiral stumbled upon them and drew what he saw, not understanding the impossibility of what he was copying. The map uses spherical trigonometry. Piri Reis didn't know Earth was a sphere. Columbus had barely proven it 20 years earlier. Yet this map projects a round Earth onto a flat surface. Perfectly. The mathematics required didn't exist in 1513. The longitude calculations are accurate to within half a degree. We couldn't calculate longitude accurately until 1761, when we invented the marine chronometer, 250 years after Piri Reis. His source maps were even older. Who taught them to calculate longitude? Who showed them how to project a sphere onto flat paper? We found similar maps from the same era. The Oronteus Phineus map from 1531 shows Antarctica centered at the South Pole, with rivers and interior details. The Boache map from 1737 shows Antarctica as 2 separate landmasses. We didn't know Antarctica was 2 islands under 1 ice sheet until the International Geophysical Year, in 1958. These cartographers all claimed ancient sources, maps passed down through centuries, from a time we call prehistoric, because we believe humans couldn't read or write then, couldn't build ships, couldn't navigate by stars, couldn't do mathematics. The United States Air Force analyzed the Piri Reis map in 1960. Captain Lorenzo Burrows confirmed the Antarctic coastline's accuracy. He compared it to modern seismic surveys. They matched. The Air Force couldn't explain it. Their report suggested an ancient civilization with advanced mapping technology. Then they stopped talking about it. The report exists. You can find it. But mainstream archaeology pretends it doesn't. Here's what we're looking at. Someone mapped the entire world before 10,000 BC. They had ships that could survive Antarctic waters. They had instruments to calculate longitude precisely. They understood Earth was spherical. They had mathematics we wouldn't redevelop for 12,000 years. Then something happened. The Ice Age ended. Seas rose 400 feet. Coastlines vanished. Cities drowned. And whoever they were, they disappeared. But their maps survived, carried forward by cultures that didn't understand what they possessed, copied without comprehension, until they reached Piri Reis, who drew what he saw and created a puzzle we still can't solve. The official explanation is coincidence. They say Piri Reis drew a distorted South America, that it just looks like Antarctica. They ignore the mountains, the rivers, the mathematical precision. They ignore the Air Force report, because accepting the truth means rewriting everything. It means an advanced civilization existed before history began. It means they had technology we can barely match today. It means the story we've been told is incomplete. If you want to know what else they're hiding, you know what to do, because the Piri Reis map isn't alone. There are artifacts, structures, technologies that shouldn't exist, and we'll show you every one. What ancient civilization do you think created the original maps? Tell us below.